What is going on, everybody? Okay, so NCAA recap. We're about 2.5 days removed from the NCAA tournament. Going to talk with Danny Wask, now two-time All-American for Navy. I have a really good conversation with Danny. He's like I said, two-time All-American now, second class. So we got another year with this guy leading the team and setting the example for the rest of the program to hopefully, inspire the next generation of guys to get on the stand. Really good conversation with Danny about, what it was like at NCAAs this year, maybe how it differed a little bit from last year, some of the things that he's battling, both physically, mentally, during that 3-day period that, I think a lot of people who have never experienced that, it's hard to kind of comprehend and feel the things that these competitors and athletes go through on a daily basis throughout those 3 days. It's a lot, and he wrestled 7 matches over the course of those 3 days. And at times there was a lot of gaps, a lot of waiting around. And then there were times where it was back to back. And, what we talk about some of the things that he's got to kind of like do to prepare for those types of things. Before I bring Danny on and share that conversation, it was a great weekend overall. I'm really proud of the 5 guys that went out there. The 4 other guys besides Danny, we had, 3 freshmen, Andrew Binney, 125, Caden Ricciardi, 141, John Lay, 57, and then Lenozga at heavyweight. Spencer and Ricciardi getting their first wins at the national tournament, which is huge. Like just being there is an accomplishment. Getting a win is the next, the next thing, that next level that they're trying to get at. Ultimately they didn't reach the goals that they had set for themselves. And I'm speaking on behalf, for all of them. Danny wanted to be a national champion. All of them had the goal of being a national champion. But as a freshman, I think coming back from the NCAA tournament with a win, and Danny kind of actually goes into this a little bit, coming back from a win with a win from the tournament is huge for themselves. They know what that feels like now. They know what the tournament feels like. The physical and emotional strain that goes into being there and to compete there is huge for those guys' development and getting them ready for next year. And then their impact on the rest of the room is huge too. So they've tasted it, they've felt it. Now they bring that back and hopefully just continue to get better and inspire those around them to get better. Before I bring Danny on, have to bring up the social. Shout out to everybody who showed up. It was great. We had, Jeff Simon and his wife, Dan Mudler and his wife, and so many others. Like, I think I told the brewery, Masthead Brewery that we were at, I said plan for 60, and I think we had over 100 people there, 120 people. Like, we at least doubled that between families and friends and alumni who showed up. General Saller at one point came up to me and said, "Hey, Peyton, you got to order more food, put it on this, and it's great. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't get a whole lot of feedback on the social. So, prior, as far as like who was going to show up. So I had no way to gauge like what it was going to be like, but we completely took over that section of the bar, and the feedback afterwards was huge. So if you were there, thank you for showing up. Hopefully you had a good time. The feedback I got was great. And it was just cool to see like that strong of a community in Cleveland, like at the national tournament. I think what we're building here, it's been a highly rewarding experience for me. I think we're on the brink of building something great with the club. And then obviously that transcends into the program. And the amount of excitement and engagement that we got from the national tournament was pretty awesome. It was pretty rad to see that. So thank you everybody who showed up and showed out. Because we're going to keep doing it. And if you missed it, sorry, you missed out. Anyway, let's get to Danny Wask. Danny, 2-time What is going on, everybody? Season 2, episode 16, NCAA recap with the one and only Danny Wask. Danny, two-time Wask. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. You've had about 48 hours now to let it sink in.
Yeah.
How has it been coming back to the yard? Did they throw you a parade or anything?
No, life goes on. I got a lot of homework I got to get done. It's real nice having people congratulate me and stuff, but definitely a lot to catch up on. But overall, pretty good.
Were your teachers kind of, obviously they were aware of you being away, but are they aware of your accomplishments from this past weekend? And what about your company? Are they tracking everything?
Yeah. My teachers, I think all of them have stopped class to applaud me. I don't know. I don't like all the extra attention. It's just okay, also class, before we get started, Danny wrestled in Cleveland, All-American. Everybody goes nuts, and I'm like, just give me the test I have to go make up right now. I'm not ready for this. Just let me do my best on this thing and just give it back to you. And yeah, my company was pretty pumped up. Had a lot of people coming up to me.
Do you like your company? Well, I guess this is a public podcast, so you got to be nice. But who's your company commander, or your company officer and SEL? You got a good relationship with them?
Yeah. They understand my commitment to wrestling, so they understand that I won't always be on deck. Excuse me, sorry. I think now that the season's over, I can spend a little bit more time with those guys. Keep building relationships, because that's kind of what this place is all about. And yeah, I mean, I kind of think my company's pretty good. I'd like to think of ourselves as pretty competitive. Everybody pushing each other. Iron sharpens iron.
You're 32?
31.
31, 80.
Olympians.
Is that really the name of your?
Yep.
Wow, that's cool. So you got the rings on the boards and stuff?
Rings on the boards.
The Olympic rings?
No, it's Greek Olympians. So it's old time stuff.
Okay.
The Greek mythology stuff is pretty good.
So you finished 6th. You went 4-3 on the weekend. Lots of wrestling. I don't think people really realize how grueling of a tournament the NCAA, not just physically, but emotionally and nerves wise. 7 matches is a lot by itself, and then you kind of you compact it into this weekend. 3 days. We stretch it out really across 3 days. Maybe talk about some of the challenges that you face alongside the 7 matches that you're going through in those 3 days.
Yeah, you talk about how long it is. It's 3 days. I mean, being locked in for a 3-day period is pretty tough. A lot of I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for people to lock in for a dual meet, which is only 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So just the struggle and I guess the ability to keep it locked in and have one focus for 3 days is pretty intense. But I kind of live for this stuff. I've been doing it my whole life, so I think I have a good gauge on how to keep my mind rested and just being able to do it. I think Colette helped a lot. I think all the coaches helped a lot. Whatever I needed, all the guys were there. So, I mean, I had a really great team behind me. Coaches were great. Teammates were great. But yeah, I think a lot of it was just mentally just focusing on the goal, getting it done.
So you're accustomed to this. I mean, it's your 3rd trip to the NCAA tournament. You grew up at, you competed at Blair. You're familiar with a competitive room, a competitive coaching staff, a competitive expectation. And then that's just outside of your personal expectations. I know you have very high personal expectations, so you're familiar with that type of environment. it doesn't make it easier, obviously, all the time. You know, like you said, you've got a great support system, but like for people who aren't familiar, this might be hard for you, but like maybe explain some of the physical things you're going through outside, you know, beyond the wrestling. You know, like what's going on after you wrestle? What's going on before you wrestle? Like, because people at the tournament and then, you know, when they're watching at home, they just see guys on the mat, you know, cycling through. Like, what's going through your day? What does your day look like in between matches and stuff?
Yeah. I think something that helped a lot was, the way Colette explained it, and, being able to get into a cycle where you warm up, you compete, you get off your feet, you rest, you eat, like you recover, you warm up, you wrestle, you cool down, recover. Being able to stay in a flow, a constant flow of those three or four items, just really makes the tournament blend. I think it's really there's no way to describe the NCAA tournament to people without it, like someone being there and feeling it, because there's nothing like the NCAA tournament. There's not like there's a lot of people on like social media that say like former wrestlers that have wrestled at the highest level, like Olympians and like people that have wrestled for world titles and Olympic titles, and nothing is like the NCAA stage. The atmosphere, the people, the crowd. I think my experiences have definitely helped me, learn to deal with those outside, I guess, obstacles. But like you're walking in the back, you're pacing next to the guy you got to go wrestle. Like you're about to go to war with this guy, and you're walking back and forth with him for probably about 10 minutes because you guys are just waiting for your mat to open up. Security was pretty tight in Rocket Arena.
Yeah.
Those guys thought they were Secret Service. I appreciate it, though. They're doing their job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really intense, but it's also a lot of fun. And yeah, like you walk out from a kind of quieter room into the arena where all you hear is roaring.
Yeah.
There's a takedown on another mat. There's a roar in your match. Being able to stay calm, cool, collected while you're going. If someone gets a fall, all you hear is "and with a fall," and it just echoes throughout the crowd. It's pretty electric. It's a lot of fun. But just being able to stay locked in, dialed on your one goal, focused.
That's actually cool. That's interesting that you bring that up. I actually, because I'm just sitting there with a little camera, like watching you, and there obviously is things that are going on beyond your mat. And when I hear that, I'm like immediately looking like, oh crap, what was that? Like, but you're telling me you hear it.
Oh yeah, like you can hear some roaring. Like,
does that distract you, or like how do you register that?
So it felt like every match I had this weekend, there was a breakage somehow. There was either like a brick, there was the clock didn't work. So like my first match, I was like, okay, like the clock stopped working. I could kind of hear Colette. Yeah. And I'm looking across the mat, and the kid who All-American last year from NC State was in rideouts in the first round. I was like, oh dang, like. And like, I guess that's a little knack on me, you gotta be able to stay locked in and stay focused. But, Colette telling me to keep it locked in, because I think there was a couple times this weekend where Colette caught me watching other matches while, I was in the middle of the fight, but there was like a break or something where I had like a 2, 3, 4, 5 minute break because they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crowd, the people, the noise. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just noise. But when you reach those thousands and hundreds and such crazy numbers of decibels, like you hear it. But yeah, it is a good time.
Yeah, you hear it. And then part of you probably is like, oh, are they doing that for me too? Until you hear the fall,
Yeah.
But I really liked Rocket Arena. I mean, I agree what you said about the security, and I appreciate that too. As a guy who's trying to skate around in the back and cut some corners with stuff, I didn't love it, but it was definitely tighter than last year. Last year was pretty easy to get around.
Well, by day 3, it was like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. So okay, first round, Kelly, Illinois, who's a freshman, I think. Tough kid, ended up making it to the blood round. I think lost to Karsla.
No, I lost to Iowa State.
Really? Okay, lost to Gaitan.
Yeah.
And then second round, the one that like the whole world like saw. It didn't surprise me. I don't think it surprised you. You didn't wrestle like it surprised you. But beating the number 2 seed with Simon Ruiz, who is a familiar guy, like maybe talk about that one, going into it. And then maybe a little bit about your relationship. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to, but I know you guys knew each other growing up, being from Jersey and stuff. And, the whole time leading up to that match, I was like, I feel good about this. Like maybe talk about that one.
Yeah, it always sucks wrestling your friends in college, Peyton knows this. I know a lot of people. I'll walk by, everybody saying like, "Oh, what's up, Danny?" Like,
yeah, can't go anywhere with you.
But yeah, definitely the mindset was interesting for that match. With Simon, I grew up with Simon. We wrestled almost every day at Buxton's together. He was my main training guy. We never hit in high school, surprisingly, but we were always like still competitors, still working together, always just trying to, get better. Yeah, it's tough wrestling your friends, but when we are at the highest, I guess, how can I put this?
The biggest stage.
Yeah, when you're on the biggest stage, like it's just tough. But I got a lot of respect for Simon. He works his tail off. Like I'm sure he wanted to beat me just as bad as I wanted to beat him.
Yeah.
And
yeah, no, I think you're trying to dance around this, like, so you're not hurting his feelings, and like I get that. Yeah, maybe I got to be a little more sensitive with the question. I mean, understanding y'all's relationship, but it is a big deal. Like, he's undefeated. You guys wrestled last year, and he got the best of you last year. Like, was it your best match? Like, you and I have talked at length about that. Like, no, it was at Vegas. You were a little banged up. It was at the end of the tournament. And maybe that's why I felt good about it. Like, I loved where you fell into the bracket at 15. Like, I knew Kelly was going to be tough, like short, stockier guy, and then, get you ready for Simon. But I think the way that you won is what turned a lot of heads, like he took you down first and you were just kind of able to chip away back at him.
Yeah, I thought I stuck him.
Dude.
If there was like any time left, I've never had someone stuck like that before. Like I caught his arm and I was like straddling his chest. It was real weird, but like the way we landed, like he wasn't getting up, but it is all right. Cause that was one of those long bricks that like it took 3 or 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in the match, there was another brick, but
you didn't look, you don't ever really look this way, but I noticed it specifically for this match, maybe because of how exaggerated he was. Like, this was second round. So first night, which is like 9 o'clock at night. It was maybe 10 o'clock at night at this point. Like, the match before you ends and Simon's like, he's there. And, you like kind of took your time. Like, you're letting people go in front of you. Again, I'm like videoing from 2 mats away, but I'm watching all this and I'm like, oh man, like I could just see body language. Like, Simon was very anxious to get the match going. And you were like, you were just like, okay, like we're wrestling, like, I would just say, you could just tell from your composure and your body language that you were more physically ready and mentally ready for that. And I always believe in your ability and your uh, skill to get to beat anybody in the country. But I felt really good about that one, especially when I saw the way that he was bouncing around, just like he was. I could just tell he was anxious, and that might be the way that he is all the time. I don't know, but I don't know if you really remember that. But he had his foot on the line before you were like all the way out the tunnel, ready to go. No, you don't remember that?
I just remember telling myself like, "Oh, this is like a Buxton's practice when we were little," because the practices always used to run till like 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10. And the match did finish up around 9:40. When we got back upstairs, I looked at my phone. It was 9:40,
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
I mean, I had to cut like a little bit of weight, so I was like, "It's really late, and I got to go make weight in the morning." But that's where my mind was going in. It's just like wrestling at Buxton's, just wrestling. So
Mm-hmm.
keeping it simple.
You've mentioned Buxton a couple times. I think Simon obviously brings that up, and we bumped into him. I don't know. I mean, it's not like you paused to have like a conversation with Buxton, but I could tell that there was like you guys have a pretty good relationship. What type of influence has Coach Buxton had on you to this point?
Yeah, he's my like youth wrestling coach since fourth grade, fifth grade. So I mean, he's been there every all my highs and all my lows, and yeah, having an old wise guy that knows a lot about the sport in your corner, no matter the I guess your successes or your failures, and having them still there supporting you, it means a lot. And we were talking, the NCAA tournament is the biggest stage of college wrestling.
Yeah.
So having him there and saying something he would say to me when I was 10 years old just means the world. Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling having him, I mean, he's not in a Navy, colors, but like at the end of the day, he's still my guy. I know I don't like a lot of people that don't have Navy colors on, but Buck's my guy till the end.
Well, I could tell that he feel like that's a mutual thing. Like he was
Yeah,
giving you looks, he was patting you on the back, and exchanging some looks, and
yeah,
that's what kind of motivated me to beyond the bringing up Simon. Like I wanted to ask you about Buxton.
yeah. He also reached out after I lost that conference.
Mm,
I was pretty bummed, really upset with how I was wrestling, and I got a text from Buxton, and he just told me to quit rolling around and just start wrestling, and have a day. I honestly felt like everything was going to be all right after he texted me. So, like the world stopped falling for a second. I was
mm,
like, we'll be all right. And then I saw him before the tournament. I knew we'd be all right. It's
that's
good.
awesome. That's pretty cool. Why do you think he has that type of you have that level of respect for him? Like what was it that you did or that he did to earn that, I guess?
Um, I just really appreciate all the time and effort we've put into this game we play, this sport we do. Yeah, it's a lot. It's the late nights, a lot of working, a lot of technique. He's a four-fingered goober. I love that dude.
And he was I guess like from what you're saying is he was there from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Was there anybody else like Buxton that's kind of been there from the beginning who's helped get you where you are now?
I mean, if I thanked every coach, we'd be here I
Forever.
would be here till midnight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just grateful, like everybody who's helped me along the way. Like even if I don't like you anymore, like I'm still grateful for like the lessons I've been taught by people. Um, But yeah, like Buxton, Jared Platt, like Mario, like that whole club was huge for me, and just really grateful.
Yeah. All right, I'll ask you some of the stuff. We kind of went on a tangent there, and it was good. Circling back to the tournament, this year we went with 5 guys. Last year it was 3. Josh graduated. Besides you, we got John coming back as a senior. And then the other 3 knuckleheads with Benny, Ricciardi, and Spencer. They ultimately didn't accomplish what they wanted to. I think they were ready. Like they had you as an example to talk to and to figure out what the expectations were, and then obviously all the staff to talk to, and Colat's going to get them physically and mentally ready. But there really is no way to like explain the national tournament. I mean, we've already talked about this at length so far in the last 20 minutes, but you kind of just got to do it to feel it, So maybe like how valuable of an experience do you think it was for those 3 guys? Well, I guess 4, with Lay too. And then what do you think that means for the next couple years?
Yeah, I remember after my plebe year, I went 2-2, and I felt like I really didn't perform. Like I felt like I didn't even wrestle good. Like obviously, like I went 2-2, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, I wrestled great, but like I knew I didn't wrestle good, and I knew I could like do a lot better. And I just coming back and being able to like tell myself like I've beaten the guys on the biggest stage kind of helped propel me with like my own belief and like the people around me.
Yeah.
I saw David Key, he got on the stand, and we were partners all year. We battled. So it was a culmination of things, but the big thing was seeing the tournament, how people compete at it, and Ricky and Spence both got wins at that tournament, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think all 4 of them are going to come back. Like I think they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be better for the experience, but I think it's also a chip on their shoulder, and I think it's also a mental thing where it's like, yeah, like I made the national tournament. I'm better than this guy. I'm going to go wrestle. I'm going to beat the tar out of him. And then I think it's just going to keep building, and then more guys are going to make the tournament, and so on. But for sure, like I think, especially for the guys that like found ways to win at that tournament, they're going to come back. It means a little bit more to get a win. And I'm sure Benny and Lay will figure it out, but Spence and Rick, it was good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. Like obviously being there is a big deal, but then coming back with a win, like so what it feels like to win before you go into the next season. From personal experience, like I didn't get my first win until my senior year at nationals, which I think is like getting that win and feeling that is like a huge advantage going into your next year. So, yeah, Rich, all 4 of those guys are way better than I ever was in college. But yeah, I think I think you hit the nail on the head there with your comments. Like they're going to be better for it. The program is going to be better for it. And it's just exciting. Like, I don't know how to look up this stat. I'd have to really do some research, but I don't remember at least in recent history, I don't remember the last time we ever had 3 freshmen go to the national tournament from Navy. So that's a cool thing to think about. Yeah. In my homework, I did ask you this after nationals, like 5 minutes before you got your trophy. Third year in a row that Navy has gotten an All-American. This being your second time. David Key, you and Josh, and now you. So 2023, 24, 25, and now 26. Last time Navy did that was 2007 through 2010. So it's been 15 years, essentially, right? 16 years since that happened. That's kind of cool. And I guarantee you, I haven't done this homework, but I guarantee you the other service academies haven't had 3 consecutive years of All-Americans. So that's pretty cool that you're part of that. You probably didn't even realize that. Obviously you're not thinking about it, but that's cool. You're also in an elite group of now 16 people to ever come through the academy as a 2-time All-American.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. So you're one of 16 now to do that. Last person to do it was Bryce Sidoris in 2009 and 2011. So it's been 15 years since that happened too. An even more elite group, which you have not accomplished yet, is 4-time NCAA qualifiers. There's only 8 of those. So next year, hopefully you not only become now or soon to be hopefully one of 9 4-time NCAA qualifiers. The last person of which was Josh, which you probably would have guessed that. There's only one other 3-time NCAA All-American, and there's no way you know this. But John Reich is the only other 3-time All-American. So you got a real opportunity next year to etch yourself into Navy wrestling history, more so than you already have. But yeah, that was back in the 80s, 1980, 1982, and 83. So pretty freaking cool, man. I got one more stat for you. Give me a second. I was texting your dad about this. All right, so stand. Hey, bear with me here.
All
right. In 2021, there were 231,874 male wrestlers in high school.
Oh, I've seen this.
All right. College wrestlers. There's only 12,377 in all of college. NAIA, D1, D2, D3, whatever, club. In Division I, there's 2,805. Again, this is 2021, so a couple years ago. So 1.21% of every wrestler in college and in high school wrestles Division I. There are only 80 of them that get on the podium at the Division I level. That is 0.034% of the amount of wrestlers, actively participating in the sport. It is statistically harder to become a Division I wrestling All-American than it is to get into the most elite institutions in the world. Harvard acceptance rate is 3.4%. Stanford acceptance rate is 3.9%. Roughly 0.07% of students score a 1600. It is twice as easy to get a perfect SAT score as it is to become a Division I All-American. We talk about 1% in business. In Division I wrestling, we're talking about the 0.03 percenters. It's not just a sport. It's a statistical anomaly of human will. All right. There's a 1 in 2,898 probability of you getting to the blood round. And then that's what you're up against. You've been in the blood round now 3 times. Twice. What the heck does that feel like?
It's just wrestling. Like, I'm a history major. You just said a bunch of numbers. The only number I really know is like the scoreboard, and it's like I know like how wrestling scored. You started talking about getting into Stanford and Harvard. I mean, I got into the Naval Academy. I think that's cooler. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I think if you're at like the Division I level, you have to just know you're elite comparatively in the sport. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I gotta do it again next year. I don't know.
No, hopefully we can skip the blood round.
Yeah, 100%.
It is just wrestling. But what is? You're the worst person to ask this question because you like have very little emotion after you win. Actually got a little bit out of you this time.
No, I was pretty pumped up. I was pretty excited after the Bloods this year. I wanted that one back. That one kept me up at nights for a little bit. Yeah. I mean, he's a tough kid, but I just needed it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah, and you did, man. You freaking did. I guess I was hoping to pull a little more out of you there. It's just wrestling, though. I mean,
here's a good Navy wrestling shout out. So I finished up wrestling, right? I'm in the ride outs. It's just like you're like ultra zoned in, you know. I'm like holding on to him in like over unders. There's like short time. Time runs out. I go over to Ty, shake his hand, get my hand raised, go over to Mark Hall, shake his hand, and then I see another Navy All American, Frank Edwards. Yep, he was in the stand. We text back and forth. He's a good dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we keep in touch, you know. Yeah, one of my wrestling coaches from high school, Alex Eustix,
Yeah.
put us in touch my plebe year after I wrestled Illinois. We were watching their little girls play lacrosse, and we met. We keep in touch ever since. But having him there was a pretty cool feeling.
Having Frank there?
Yeah, he told me that when he All-Americaned, Doug Zemback was going nuts for him. So it's a pretty cool feeling, you know. NWE
I don't
runs
doubt
deep.
that. I don't doubt that at all. I've heard some stories about Doug. That's cool. So you saw Frank after you got your raise?
Oh yeah. Like I was like looking around for like people I knew because I was gonna like smile at them or like do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like really pumped, stoked. I was like, let's go.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. You didn't tell me that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was Frank at the social?
I didn't see him.
Okay. I don't know if I've met him.
He came into the room. He gave a talk about some Marine stuff. It was pretty good.
Oh, this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then yeah, I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Like longer blonde hair.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Okay,
Yeah.
but you knew him from your plebe year because Alex put you in touch.
Yeah.
Okay. We saw him too. I don't remember what round that was. That might have been
was
second day.
Something like that, yeah. I think it was second day before the quarters, maybe.
Yeah. Damn.
No, that dude's awesome. He was with me in my 106 days.
Did he help with Blair? Or
Yeah.
What was the okay. But he's local. He's like a local Maryland guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he was an assistant. He'd help out with like tournaments, officially, unofficially. I don't know the rules, but he would help out, help me get down to 106. It was tough.
106 to 174.
It's the good stuff though. That's the stuff you remember.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I actually learned a lot about you tonight. This is good. This is good. Peeled back some layers from the D Wask 2-timer. I know you got a lot of stuff to get catched up on with school. It's 9:00 now.
We can keep
You're not even in Bancroft. Any other closing remarks, bud?
just
No.
grateful, pumped
Yeah.
up. U.S. Navy reposted me on their story. That was
That
sick.
is freaking cool.
That was pretty cool. I was like, oh my goodness.
Is it too early to ask like what you're looking forward to most next year? Like, look, I know what your goals are, but like,
Yeah, I want to see the guys develop. We sat next to the Oklahoma State tent, and like I like what they're doing over there. I mean, they got a lot of really good freshmen. 3 of their true freshmen won it. So, I mean, I just want to put together a team that'll compete hard, that'll battle for each other and love each other. Just get the guys out there firing.
that is kind of cool that we did sit next to. So you probably got to hear some of their conversations that, you know.
Well, yeah, kind of. I wasn't in the camps too much, but
yeah,
I was either at the hotel.
yeah, they do have a lot going on over there, and I bet you a good part of it has to do with like the culture they've built. And I think Colette's done a good job of building that competitive culture. You know, the last 2 years, at least that since I've been around, like, and you've had a big role in that. And I really feel like we're on the cusp of something pretty great. And you know, man, I wish you were still a freshman, dude. Like, it's a pretty special thing what you've done so far. And I'm blessed to just kind of be witness to it. But yeah, I'm excited for you next year too. And I think, you know, and beyond that, you've got a lot to look forward to. You know, wrestling is a great foundation for anything that you get your hands into after wrestling. And you know, I think you're mature enough to understand that now. I don't think you put too much pressure on yourself about service selection, and you shouldn't, because it's going to work out regardless. And a lot of that is just from the foundation of what you've built with wrestling. So, yeah, that's a whole different rabbit hole right there. But anyway, congrats, man. And thanks for your time, and excited to build on and continue to grow, man.
Gotta do it again. Gotta do better.
There's only one way up. Yep. All right, buddy. Well, get some sleep, get some school done, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Shit, bad.
All right. Later, boss.